Hey guys, welcome back to RMA Garage. Welcome to the underside of our RV. Most people probably have never been under here. Maybe they have. Anytime you go under here, it's usually not because you want to get away from the sun. It's because you got to fix something. So anyway, yeah, we're underneath the RV, kind of checking things out. This is kind of be more or less an info video. There really wasn't anything done, but it was more or less information that I received from a basically a forum of RVs that as I was going through things, I found something that I didn't know existed on my RV, and I wanted to let everybody know because it was somewhat quite alarming. I was very concerned thought maybe my RV was going to break in half. So anyway, I wanted to share with you what I found and the reason why I found it, and the idea that I had wasn't going to work. At least I wasn't going to try it because I didn't want to break my RV. So anyway, let's get to it. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about the structure. Now this here is the structure of the actual frame itself. These are the two. This is one of the angles. There's one on the other side, and this here is the original angle that is for the RV itself, the actual Chevy Cutaway 4500. That frame ends right here. Okay, now this part is an extension, and I'm going to swing the camera around and show you that the extension goes all the way to the end. You can see it right there. Obviously this is the hitch, this is hitch here, and then the frame finishes out right there. But as you can see, this frame is not part of the original frame. There is a splice, and you wonder, why did they do that? Well, they did that because the original frame for the truck was long enough for the box size. So what I wanted to do at least was to tell you guys how long this is and how much longer this is. Basically, if I had to put a tape measure on this, you're roughly about 33 3/4 is how long extra this piece is. Okay. Now, you wouldn't think, obviously, this is not a problem. Obviously, I've had the RV for 5 years and there were no issues. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to put a motorcycle carrier on the back of this, and it was going to, the tongue weight is rated for 500 pounds. Well, with the bikes and everything, it was going to get real close to just being over 500 pounds, and I thought, well, maybe that's not a problem. Well, I read on a forum that because these are spliced, that obviously the strength is not what it's supposed to be. Now what I do want to show you is how they even splice these. Okay, so there is no weld on the outside, but there is a weld up here. Doesn't look the greatest. I'm not a welder, my son is, but it's okay. It's not the greatest. The weld, there really isn't much of a weld up on top. And if I can show you on top, there's the weld on the top. If I can get a flashlight in there to kind of show you guys. It's not really what I consider super fantastic. Now there is, and I'm going to apologize early for the camera work. It's going to be a little jerky, but there is a plate welded to the side. All right, so there's the plate. It's only welded, from what I can gather, it is welded on the sides. So that's one side, and it is welded on this side, and I believe that it is welded to the top. And again, I apologize for the camera. I'm going to see. You can see that. Hopefully that's in focus. I'm gonna check it. So it's basically welded a couple of spot welds. There's a spot weld here, a spot weld there, there's one there, and a fourth one down there, and that is it. When I realized that my RV had a splice, I was a little concerned about adding and going over the tongue weight recommended for this RV. Needless to say, I did not buy the hitch carrier for the 2 motorcycles. If I did do one, it would only be for 1 motorcycle. But then I realized there's going to be a lot of bouncing involved. I would probably end up going to a weld shop and having them finish these welds, maybe cleaning them up a little bit and doing some extra welds, you know, basically finishing the welds on both sides, grinding it off, really making it proper, because I don't know if I trust just this plate to do the job. Now, it is a 1/4 inch plate, but it's not welded everywhere. Hey, if you guys know more about this than I do, I would love to hear the comments. But yeah, really not super excited about seeing this. All right, guys, so I wanted to kind of show you the other side as well, just for consistency. You can see there really isn't, there is a weld here. There isn't anything on the bottom. And we'll look on the side here. Yeah, there's a weld. You can see the weld there, if I can focus on it. So there's a weld there, and then feeling on the top side, there's a little bit. There's one here. Looks like one on each side like the other. So there's 2 welds on one side, 2 welds on the other. And actually this has a little bit of an extra piece on it. So you can see that basically it is the same. These actually don't line up a whole lot. There's a little bit of a, they didn't really get it 100%. Let's look on the other side. All right, so there's the inner weld. That one actually doesn't go all the way to the top. Yeah, there's a little bit of a space there. And on top here, there is a weld on top there. So it's exactly the same from one side to the other. So no oopses on one side, they're exactly the same. Please don't be alarmed. It's not the end of the world. It's nothing bad. Nothing's going to happen to your RV. But when you start doing things that are not meant for the manufacturer's intent, like, you know, putting a dirt bike rack on here, adding a lot of tongue weight to this receiver, you know, bouncing and doing all the things that, you know, we as RVers try and really max out its capacity to haul around and do what we want it to do. You have to be very careful and that you don't exceed the manufacturer's specifications. Now, there is no paperwork on this. There is no book. There is nothing that tells me I can do this or I can't do this. This is just me, my engineering mind going, do I want to try it? No, I don't want to have a frame crack when we're somewhere, and that would be so bad. So anyway, no worries, no issues, but hey, if this gets somebody out of making a bad decision, then that's why we're here, giving you good information. So if you have any questions, leave them below. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys watching. More videos on the way. Hopefully it's going to be a nice summer. We got another trip planned and going there, you know, trying to get as much motivation as we can while the sun is still shining. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.